Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner, and this is the MacVoices update for February 2020. Yeah, folks, I'm sorry. I know I'm just pushing the edge of February with this update. I had intended to get it out about a week ago, and it just didn't happen. But I definitely didn't want to skip February. So a couple things here I wanted to touch on this time around. First, and we'll get to the support report a little bit later, but I want to state up front that we did lose a couple supporters this month, and that means that the revenue from Patreon is down, and there are still bills to pay for MacVoices. So if you aren't subscribed to Patreon, please check us out, even if it's just $1 or $2 a month. It really does help. And for those who had to drop off, completely understand. It's that time of year when you're paying off holiday bills. You're probably reevaluating your subscriptions to different shows, and that's perfectly all right too. I completely understand that. And I appreciate everything you've done up to this point. But at the end of the day, there's still revenue to be figured out as the costs of producing MacVoices go up. Now, I mention all that mainly because I floated some of this to one of the MacVoices dispatches earlier in February. But I'm regularly getting emails from folks saying, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Might be a news story, might be a rumor, might be a product, it might be a lot of things. So I'm toying with the idea, and I should also say, I don't necessarily like putting content behind paywalls. I don't like that idea because if I'm having guests, I feel it's a disservice to them to be hiding behind a paywall or putting it behind a paywall. And it's also a bit of a disservice, I think, just for the information in general. So I'm trying to figure out things that maybe would add a little value that you would find valuable and would be viewed positively as a reward for being a Patreon supporter. One of the ideas would be to do a quasi-daily single topic, single day story of the day or story of the week kind of thing with my opinion and my thinking on it. I'm not sure that's something that everybody would value, and I doubt, just judging by the way the headlines go, that it would necessarily be every day, but maybe I would commit to 2 or 3 days a week or something like that. Still very much in the discussion stages. I have another idea that was just presented to me actually last night, and I'm doing a little research to see if that might pan out as another possible value add. If you have ideas about something that you would push you over the edge to become a Patreon supporter at any level, let me know. Chuck@MacVoices.com. This is one of those brainstorming sessions between you and me, and there's nothing off limits. I'm sure that it would be easy to come up with some things that are just completely unrealistic, but that's okay. Maybe out of one of those ideas, a new idea will be born. So please, Chuck@MacVoices.com if you have ideas. I also want to take a second. This kind of crops up every 6, 8, 10, 12 months about the various ways that you can consume MacVoices, and especially the video versions, the video quality. I upload as high a quality as realistic version to YouTube. That's what gets embedded on the MacVoices site. I also upload a high quality version to Vimeo, which is equivalent to YouTube. Sorry. And then for those of you that get the show through the feeds, you get a much more compressed version, because the versions that get uploaded to YouTube and Vimeo usually clock in around 3 to 7 gigs. Yeah, that's a lot of information to upload and a lot for you to download. The video versions you get through the feed are more like 3 to 500K, depending on how long the particular show is. Much more palatable for downloading. So the RSS feed version is really intended more to be watched on your phone, or at best maybe an iPad. It's really not designed to be on the big screen on your big 5K iMac or even your MacBook Pro or MacBook Air. So if you're looking for the high quality versions, definitely hit YouTube or hit the website or hit Vimeo. And if you are looking on your device and subscribed on your device, then great, watch it there. And if you're not satisfied with it, well, then you can go and find it the other places too on your device. But that's just how it goes. It's just one of those things that is realistic. Even if I could upload a full 5 gig file to the to the feed, which I'm not sure I could, it would not be something you would want to waste your time and bandwidth on downloading. So lastly here, I wanted to put in a quick plug for my Instagram feed. I'm primarily my Instagram feed is a vehicle for MacVoices and Trek favorites, but I'm trying to do better at throwing in the odd photo or something that I find interesting. I'm not real good at that kind of creativity, but I'm trying to get better, and so hopefully you will see some things there that may interest you as well. So if you're on Instagram, check it out, and if I see you following me, I'll take a look at your feed and maybe follow you back. So with that, let's get to the support report this month. Right now, as we end February, we have no sponsors at Platinum or Gold. At Silver, we have Chuck A., Michael D., Bruce E., Norbert F., David G., Tim G., Chuck P., Frank P., George R., and Daniel S. And at Bronze, we have Max C., Clinton M., Giro M., and Prop P. I say this every month, and I really mean it every month. Thank you to all the Patreon supporters who help keep the show going and the lights on. And not just to the supporters that I just mentioned, but to those who have supported in the past, both on PayPal and Patreon. You are the reason that we've gotten this far, and MacVoices is what it is. And so I deeply appreciate both past and present, and hopefully future contributors. But there are other ways you can support MacVoices. First, you can write an iTunes review, which is always really important because it helps push us up in the rankings and also gives people a little indication that, hey, somebody likes these shows, they're important, they're informative, and maybe they'll subscribe. You can buy something through the Amazon links that we have on the show pages and on the main page of MacVoices, and I get a little kickback. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does help support the show. And it doesn't have to be computer gear or anything. I get a report from Amazon, I think it's every quarter, on what was purchased. And, it can be grass seed. I mean, it's fascinating sometimes what you see folks buy. And I always, again, appreciate the fact that they took the time to click through the MacVoices link to go and then do shopping on Amazon, because it really does help. And lastly, click through the sponsor links, because we do have sponsors for most of the MacVoices shows. And if you buy from them, great. Use the codes, please. But at the very least, clicking through lets them know that you're looking at their products and what they offer, and that you are doing that through MacVoices. So that wraps up the February update. I'll be back in March, hopefully on a little more timely basis, and we'll see you again. As always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.